Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about American politics, and we are specifically going to talk about the Joe Rogan Donald Trump interview. All right, so we're going to talk all about this today, but I want to be super clear. I'm actually kind of proud of this. I haven't listened to a single word. I've not listened to a single word of the Joe Rogan Donald Trump podcast. Why? None of the words matter. All right. So does that mean that this podcast doesn't matter? No, absolutely not. This podcast is massive. It's extremely important, right? In fact, it's historically, epically important. It is, and honestly, well, I would love to tell you that it puts the nail in the Kamala coffin, because that would be very convenient and, kind of like the bookcase closing for this video. Oh, Joe Rogan, that does it. Kamala's done. That's not the case. You know what put the nail in the Kamala coffin? It was the McDonald's it was the McDonald's working the fry station by Donald Trump. He destroyed anything. Kamala did nothing. Kamala has done nothing. Right? Oh, Kamala Harris shows up at a rally. Who gives a rat's tail? Right? Even Donald Trump. Right? Like, honestly, I think the McDonald's thing is like the Uber checkers. Like, the McDonald's thing is huge. I cannot explain to you what a big deal that is. Honestly, I think these rallies are ridiculously stupid and I'm not sure they really matter at all. Right? It's this type of political theater. And that's what you're seeing here. Donald Trump going on Joe Rogan is political theater, but it is extremely important from the perspective of it's doing something Kamala could not. Okay, Kamala could not get on Joe Rogan. It's possible Kamala will go on Joe Rogan. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. There's no way Kamala can have a 3-hour discussion with anyone. They barely can put her in front of friendly interviewers, right? Like, I think. Man, I think Joe Rogan would turn her inside out, right? Like, it would be bad. Why is this important if I haven't listened to a single word of it? Well, this is important to understand. Basically, this is why Donald Trump matters so much in American politics. He figured it out. It don't matter what you say. No one, why does it not? Well, wait. Of course it matters what Donald... No, it doesn't matter what Donald Trump says, right? Why? Why doesn't it matter, right? All politicians lie outrageously. Every word out of their mouths virtually is a lie. Nobody's listening to them, but they are paying attention to what they do. And Donald Trump is outmaneuvering Kamala at every single turn. And the Joe Rogan podcast is huge. Joe Rogan... So why is it huge? So one, it's a big freaking deal because nobody believed it would happen, right? Joe Rogan did not want to decide the election, right? Now, he's fortunate. Joe Rogan was right. He really felt that anybody he had on his podcast first would decide the election. He does have an immense amount of power. The reason why I understand he's so powerful is I saw him catapult Andrew Yang onto the public forum, right? Andrew Yang arrived after he went on the Joe Rogan podcast, right? So Joe Rogan is a kingmaker, and I truly believe his podcast, if it weren't for the McDonald's event, his podcast would have decided the election, right? It didn't. The McDonald's decided the election. I'd love to tell you that, that this is important. This is extremely important, right? It's Joe Rogan did not want to be in the middle of American politics. But I think the reason Joe Rogan agreed to do this interview was because he realized you do the thing or you fall into irrelevancy. You know who's proven that right now? Teamsters. They don't matter. Hey, everybody, we'd like to tell you we're endorsing no one. Thanks for telling us that. You really didn't need to open your mouth because nobody cares that you're not doing anything and you're taking our time to tell us of your cowardice. Nobody needed that, right? Like, you do the thing or you fall into irrelevancy, right? And Joe Rogan, He's a fighter. He's literally a fighter, right? An elk-powered carnivore fighter, and he will not fall into irrelevancy. So he did this interview, and this interview, I do think this gives 5 points in the general, right? But the reason it won't matter is McDonald's gave 15 points in the general. And now, right, Donald Trump has 20 points in the general that Kamala could not match. She is toast, right? Light toast. Butter both sides. She's done, okay, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.